Welcome to the stream, WFB tutorials. This is actually my first tutorial video that I'm actually streaming, and we're going to cover the DM tools that we've given to us, and we're going to go over the basics and how to set it all up and what they can do. And we have basically 4 scripting nodes that we can put down. We have the random node, which is the one with the dice here on the far left, and we'll go into that now. We have setup, and you can basically, whoops, I don't want to move it. You can set the probability for option 1 is the choice. So it's at 50%, so it's a 50-50 chance that this option 1 will kick in, otherwise option 2 will kick in. And depending on how you scale it, basically you can put the chances in really low, really high. That will have an impact on further events down the line when you start linking and triggering. So there's nothing complex about that one. It's fairly simple to understand. And then we have the timer node. That's the one with the green, with the sand clock going down there. And this one's a bit more complex. It has quite a few possibilities that you can do with it. You can have it interact with props, not just the NPCs, but you need an NPC at this point in time. You need an NPC to get it activated. So 1 NPC is definitely needed for the timers to work. And we'll go into setup. Basically you can set the time, and again it picks it up. Set the time to 0 or up to 2 minutes, and you can have it reset the timer after it's completed its objective, and give it a name of course, and that's basically that one. The next one is with the boots. That's your paving node, the one that makes the NPCs move into a different, to this objective or do stuff. And with this you can even set up other linking and triggering possibilities. For instance, that when he reaches this node, he'll despawn or he'll do something else, so you can interact with props as well. And let's have a look. There's no setup for this one, so there's no setting up this. You basically have possibility on NPC arrive to do whatever. And then the last one, the red one with all the cogs, that's the logic gate. I'm not going to go into this one yet because it's I haven't figured it out, haven't messed about with it that much, and this is basically a more in-depth tutorial to go through. I'll just show you what it has. Also, this one has no setup, it has only links, and you can see you have A, B, A, B, A, B. So there's 4 different things you can do with it. Altogether it makes 8. You can set it to, you can basically say if A is set, do this, that and the other. If A is clear, do this, that and the other. If B is set, do this, that and the other, and so forth and so forth. So you can basically make it do certain things like unlock a specific door, or lock doors, or you can have it work with the random gate, so you have possibilities that it goes either for A or B and all kinds of stuff. But we're not going to get into this one. We're going to go and work with the first 3. And a very important thing to know about is the setup for NPCs. Now you can set basically the name. You can go on the reaction. You can set down how it's going to interact with everybody. Is it an enemy for us? Is it a neutral system? Is it a ally that will help us out? So depending on what faction you want it to be, that's important. Now, when working with this later on, spawn when play mode is active is a very important thing, and we're going to get into that a bit later. So you can turn that on and off, which what basically means is basically when you turn on to play mode, he will spawn straight away. if you have that deactivated, he will not spawn, and he will not spawn period without anything happening towards the scripting gates. So you have to have a scripting gate happen when you have this mode turned off, otherwise this NPC will not show up. Now, respawn after kill is self-explanatory. If you want this NPC to respawn, you can set the timer between instant respawn and 60 seconds at the moment. And if you don't want him to respawn, he will not. Reason why this is pretty good is you can set up your dungeon to be an open dungeon, a closed dungeon, etc. So depending on how the income is, or because of the timer being so short, you might want it to not spawn at all until something else happens or a player enters a certain area. So what we're going to start off with basically is the first thing. Problem might be that my main character put these down, so I might have to put them down myself for it to actually set up properly. So, set up quickly. There we go. So I'm going to pick him up and pick him up. Where's my area tool? Right there. When timer is complete, spawn the NPC. Let me get myself set up. There's my area box, and switch play mode. As you see, the NPC is not there, so I'm going to walk into here. He's still not here, so we're going to wait for this timer to turn up. I don't have any weapons, so I'm going to die. I'm going to have to craft myself a weapon. Actually, I do have guns. Oh, let's give this guy a fight for his money. And he's dead. We'll wait up the timer. And there he is again. So that's the simplest way to set up these encounters to fight. And now he's spawned again straight away. So that's the first one we set up. Now we're going to set up the next one. And we're going to interact with this emitter. So this is going to show you how to use the prop system. So when you're using props also towards the NPCs himself. So now we set up the timer. First thing we do, set up the timer. We want it to be 10 seconds for instance. Now we want to set the chomper to not spawn when active. Respawn after kill. Let's turn off the respawn after kill so you see that happen. I'll put that down. And now we have to go back to the area tool. Now we link the area tool to the timer when player enters. Start the timer. Set up the link from the timer to the NPC. Link on timer complete. Spawn NPC. Now we set up a link to the emitter from the NPC and say link on spawn, turn on the emitter, and we set up a second link and say on death, turn that emitter off, and now we go and run the test. We've entered the timer, gone into the area. I'll wait for the timer to kick in. And as you see, the emitter's turned itself on and the chomper's turned up. Now we engage in the chomper. And the emitter gets turned off. The chomper's dead, and as you can see, there should be no respawn. So that's the two ways you can do it. You can have it respawn after a certain time again and again, or you can have it just basically die. So this would be an option you would use when you're doing a dungeon that is only for the group that's actually playing it, or you only want it to respawn after a certain period of time, or when a new group comes into that dungeon. So let's get the build mode back up. So we have these 4 pathing nodes down, and what we want to do is get our character. Let's take a slog stormer, set him down. You can put timers on this and whatnot. I'm just showing you the basics now, how this all works. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up, the slog. Make sure that he is spawned when the play mode is active. We'll leave the respawn time at 30 seconds for now, and respawn after killed. And now we're going to set him up and say link from the monster himself on spawn, go here to this pathing node. Then we're going to go to the first pathing node and say link on NPC arrive, go here to the next one, and the same again. So you basically just link it once around. Link on NPC arrive, here, and then we say on NPC arrive, despawn for instance. So I'm going to get out of his way so this guy doesn't attack me. I just hope we can see it from here. I think that's far enough, and we'll start this off. He's gone to the first node. He's now at the second. He's gone to the third. And he goes to the last one. And he despawns. Now if you want him to go into a loop, all we have to do now is go to the last node. Get rid of that link and say on NPC arrive, go here. And now he'll just go around and round in circles until he's dead. And that's how you basically do your pathing. And we'll set this up real quick. So we need first off scripting nodes, which are 2 timers, one there, one there, and a random gate. So we have that set up. We're going to set the timers set up. We'll have the first timer be a 5-second countdown. Make sure it's set up for 5 seconds. It's not, why not? Okay, so it's completely bugged. Set up. Now it's at 5, okay. Ah, no! Tools are still a bit iffy. And we'll have the second timer set up to, let's say 20 seconds. So, come on. So that's set up. So 2 timers are set up, and now we put down our NPCs, and we link them to them. We'll take... No, I don't want to take them, I want to put them down. So I'll put those there, and then we're going to put the other group on the other side. And now we set everything up. We don't want these 2 guys here, the Earth Elemental and the Powered Mega Knight, to spawn on play mode. They want to be spawned when a certain event happens, so we just turn that off. Turn that respawn after kill. Do the same to the powered knight. And we don't want these guys to respawn as well. Depending on what you want to do, if you want to be really mean, you can have them respawn instantly or whatever. That would be mean, like. That would be a kill zone. So we don't want them spawning when they're active. And play mode is active because they are going to be linked to a timer. And the same goes for the skeletons. For simplicity, I'm setting the timers a bit low, but you can do awesome stuff with the timers and everything. So you can set up like a ring of groups. So we're gonna have, why aren't they? So we've got that set up. The easiest link for now is setting up the random game, but first we're going to set up the timers. So we need an area, and we're going to set that up. Here, and we're going to start by linking the area when player enters to the first timer, and tell it to start the timer. And we're going to link it now to these NPCs here, the Baron, Bowman, and the Protector. On timer complete, spawn NPC, the same again with the other dude, spawn NPC. Now, what we want to happen is basically, when these guys die, a timer has to kick in now for this one, the second timer, because we want this group to come. So you choose one, you make one a kind of boss monster if you want the leader of the pack. So we're going to take the Protector, and then we're going to say Link, on his death, start the second timer. So now what's happened is basically when I enter that area, these guys will spawn after 5 seconds. Once a Protector gets killed, the second timer will kick in. That's how far we've got now. And we want something to happen as well. We want basically these guys to spawn. And at the moment, this thing is only linked to the Bowman group, the skeleton group. So now what we do is we say link on timer complete, spawn NPC, link on timer complete, spawn the other NPC. So we've got that all set up. That's all well and good. Now what we want to happen is we want a random choice to happen. Now this random choice could basically be that nothing happens or these NPCs spawn, so we're going to use it with these two NPCs. And I'm going to say when the trooper, link the trooper on his death, activate random event. So that's basically telling us that when he dies, something random is going to happen within the dungeon or within this event we're setting up. And now basically we need to go to the random gate and set up the links there. And we have it at 50-50. And we're going to leave it at that. We're going to go for a 50-50 choice that either one of these two NPCs will spawn. And now we go link, and we're going to say option 1 is going to be the Earth Elemental and spawn NPC. Option 2, link, option 2 is him and spawn NPC. Now the random gate, personally, for us to get the gist of it is perfectly fine, but we definitely will need further down the road as soon as possible, because I'm going to be go crazy with this stuff. We need to have more than 2 options, because I would like to, I've got so many crazy ideas going on right now that I would love to do with this random gate, which we cannot do at this point in time, but we can set up more than 1 random gate, but it doesn't have to be. So let's go and see if my logic now has worked. Right, where is my area tool? It's right in front of me. So let's get out of build mode, switch to the event mode, and see if everything kicks in as I planned it. So now I walk into the area, which has now been activated, I think. Timer's running down. Those NPCs spawn. Now I'm going to kill the first dude. There's the one with the... I'm going to try and kill this guy. And we're going to show you that nothing happens further. This guy's still alive. I'm going to run around. I think I've got like a 10-second timer. So this guy's still alive and nothing else has happened apart from him spawning after a certain time, which I don't know why. I think I turned it off, but he's dead now, so the other timer should have kicked in by now, and we will see in a few seconds if these guys spawn or not. There they are. So now that has happened. These guys have spawned, and we're going to go and start killing these dudes. So he's dead, and now when he dies, one of the 2 things should happen. Boom, we get the big dude. And I'm going to turn this off now because I don't want to die. But you guys get the idea of how this all works. So it's pretty cool stuff, what we already have, what we can do with it. It just takes a bit of time playing with it, messing around, getting to know it. Don't be afraid of these scripting tools. They are actually pretty awesome and very easy to understand.